It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Hello to all, and welcome to Divas That Care Network. I am Joyce Benning, and I will be your host for this magical, robust lifestyle show. I am so excited today because I have with me a brand new diva, and her name is Stacy. And I am just going to turn it over to her and let her give us all an introduction of who Stacy is.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joyce. I appreciate it. I am Stacy Zablocki. I'm a devoted mother of four and a proud grandmother of four whose my life reflects deeply around faith and family and community. I'm also a founder of a nonprofit called Make Life Better Together Incorporated, where I dedicate holistic healing with trauma recovery, with community empowerment, and I lead with compassion and purpose. I also, alongside that, operate an LLC called Gritty Grace Farm and Livery. It's a for-profit that blends equine therapy with riding lessons and also agricultural education. And so I'm right now currently in school getting my clinical neuropsychology degree, my PhD in that, and hopefully one day run my farm on just horse therapy and being able to have those services available.
Oh, I love it. Wow, what a true diva, working to make life better together. And that's exactly what Divas That Care is about. Women working together to make the world a better place. Oh, this is just, it's phenomenal. And I knew it would be a magical show. And tonight we have a special, kind of a special title that we're going to kind of address. And Stacy is very well acquainted with determined and not distracted. From the little bit her and I have talked in the past, I know she has a great determination and not letting the distractions get in her way to keep on moving forward to her goals in life. So with that, Stacy, I'm just going to kind of let you take it from where you would like and start to share with our listeners today about being determined and not distracted.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joyce. With everything that I'm doing, obviously, I have to stay majorly focused from running an in resident home, nonprofit, for profit. But what most importantly, I think what brings me there is my faith and what the Lord has given me, the purpose in my heart to strive forward and having that vision to help other individuals. And when you have that purpose in your heart, it literally drives you to be motivated every day. And I think when we have purpose and determination like that, it truly runs your heart on an authentic level. So when we're running authentically and we're not trying to sugarcoat things and make it be something that it isn't and try to drive on our own understanding, it really tires you out after a while. So when we're really dedicated to that purpose and we're running authentically, I think it just leaves our gas tank full at all times.
Oh, oh, I love how you put that. The purpose from the heart, and it just drives you to your motivation and being authentic. That is so important
Mhm.
because to me, so many people try to be what other people have them imaged as and not being their authentic self. And that wears you out, trying to be who you're not.
Yes,
So being authentic and purpose from the heart, it's like you're living out your passion in life. And to me, that is so
right.
important also. Oh, I love what you just said.
Amen. Thank you. Definitely.
So how on a daily basis do you keep this in living your purpose from your heart and being authentic in everything that you have going on in your life?
Well, when you live it and breathe it every single day, and it's intertwined in you, it's like you never miss a beat and where you go. And it's so funny because everyone as an entrepreneur, you're like, okay, well, checks and balances and books and money and all that, but when you're there and you're really running authentically and it's a true purpose, it is truly amazing how it all synergistically works together. And and it just flows. And I have a statement, and I always assess myself daily, is you have to flow to grow to glow. So if you're
Oh,
not flowing, you're not growing, and then you're not glowing. And that's when I know that if I'm not flowing, I can feel that. And typically it's something where I'm putting self in that. So it's just a flow to grow to glow kind of thing.
oh, I absolutely love that. I wrote that down. I was like, oh my goodness, I've never heard it put that way. And how true that is. You have to flow to grow to glow. Because I
Hmm.
just thinking of in my own life when I get frustrated sometimes and not too many to-do lists, I guess you might say, and
Yes.
I let them overwhelm me and I'm like, okay, just stop. Most of that isn't that important anyway. Just rather be your
Exactly.
authentic self and be the one that flows to grow to glow. Oh, that's just
Yes.
beautiful, Stacy.
Thank you.
Well, how long has it taken you? Has it been like a journey you've been on to come to this point in your life to be able
That
to live the purpose from your heart?
It's definitely been a journey. I went from a med spa owner working in my own strength, and then the Lord got a hold of me probably about 16 years ago, and it totally changed everything. And so when I moved into that and my eyes were opened to seeing that purpose, that's when I started to really start that flowing and understanding, and started to really put in what I was doing in my own strength, but I started to truly apply that in a dedicated vision that the Lord had given me. So I worked diligently, and I was a very disciplined person anyway. But applying that, it just changed everything when I opened the nonprofit and my horse therapy business. It just changed everything.
Oh, well, being into horse therapy, I mean, being a horse lover myself, and I know the therapy my four horses give me. Do you truly feel in this journey they have played a big part in helping you to become the person you are and be able to flow to grow to glow?
Yes, so definitely my horses were my beginning impact. I've been a horse owner and trainer for 25 years. And matter of fact, that's the program that I developed within the nonprofit was based upon horses. And the Lord gave me a vision of called the power of a line. And so I say, if I can't teach you about God directly, I can definitely teach you it through horses or science. So it's God, horses, and science. I bring all of those together with an understanding, but without that true understanding of being I mean, I believe there's horse trainers, but then there's truly horse trainers. And so when you're a real true horse trainer, it comes from your heart, and you have to self-examine who you are, to be able to connect with that horse. And I took that same kind of concept and moved it into helping kids that were in foster care, and also help parents and work with their own children. And I I used to feel uncomfortable saying, oh, well, train them like a horse, don't get in that arena if you haven't self-examined, and if you're negative, don't get in that arena. Well, it is the same concept, and
It
so my
is.
horses
Mhm.
really laid that foundation for me.
Yeah. So the connection with your horses and connecting to me, it's like you connect on a different level than just
Mm,
going out there, putting the bridle on and teaching them how to ride and this and that.
yep,
There's a heart to heart between you and your horses because the
yep.
horses have such a big heart and are so, they're just amazing how they're so willing to help and
Hmm.
they're such healers from what I have seen.
Absolutely. And coming from the neuro field, I have learned now that horses do not have very much of a frontal lobe, which is our executive functioning and logic. So a horse can't plot against you,
Mhm.
so it all runs on on its emotions. And
Yeah.
so to connect with that horse, just like a child, it does not in the beginning phases and growth cycles, they don't have that development of that prefrontal cortex of the brain. So they don't have the ability to plot or make logical decisions. And so we can only connect through a truly authentic heart. And horses know the difference.
Oh, yes, they do. They
Yes.
definitely know. And to me, they know your emotions. They know your emotions
Yep.
before you ever get to them. And it's just amazing how they react. And I have four of them, and they all have their own personality.
Mhm.
And I think that is so beautiful too. And they're to me, they're very authentic. They never
They are.
they don't come to you in a mask or anything. They are who they are.
Hmm.
And so, in your daily work, do you use your horses on a daily basis to help with your clients?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
I do therapeutic, sessions with people, when it's not winter.
Mhm.
I try to
Right.
do pretty much daily. If the sun is shining, someone's here.
Hmm.
But yes, it is a way that I can connect with individuals. It's a way that I can, read energy because I've been able over these 25 years learn how important our energy is. And so
Yes.
to be able to work with an individual but they don't understand where their energy is, that horse can help generate a written document for me.
Hmm. So you and the horses are a team working
Yes.
together, from what I'm hearing, to help
Oh
help
yeah.
your clients in whatever. Do you have a certain group of clients that you work with that are maybe having certain issues, or do you work with all ages, all ranges of issues, or what all kind do you work with your horses and them?
Well, we work with all ranges of people. I
Mhm.
mean that's just for where I'm at. I work anywhere from, with the brain injuries, I'm highly educating on, what is a brain injury. So it's not just when I hear brain injury, traumatic brain injury, it's, kids that are in trauma or adults in trauma. So when we say brain injury, it's not limited to just one individual. It could be a veteran with PTSD. So anyone that is struggling with some sort of brain injury, which I feel is a, a big part of our world, my horses are here and available for services.
Wow. Because a lot of times I think when you hear the word brain injury, you immediately think they were in an accident
Right,
or they had head trauma.
right.
Where from what I'm hearing from you, it can be all kinds of things that can
Hmm.
affect to a brain injury.
Yep. Verbal trauma, physical trauma, military combat, things like that. Those are all now, we are now learning they're all certain types of brain injuries. Even going into dementia and Alzheimer's, those are all things that can be prolonged with different brain integration therapies and therapeutic horse sessions and things like
Mhm.
that.
Oh, wow. You are making great strides in working towards helping people in so many different ways in like you said, in what terms as a brain injury.
Hmm.
Oh, how
Yes.
how did you get so involved in kind of focusing on what you call the brain injury, which opens up so many doors for so many people?
Absolutely. Well, it started about 10 years ago when I was homeschooling my children, when I shifted from that weight of my development of the med spa. I decided to take a 180 shift and homeschool my children, and
Mhm.
only to learn that my, second oldest daughter struggled with cognition. And as me, I'm a science brain. So I was trying to figure out any way that I could test her, figure out what we could do. And nothing would come back that would give me a complete understanding, except that she had a very low IQ and fell into a grayscaled area. And so from there, I, just started seeking outwardly with some of the homeschool moms that had been doing it for years, and was introduced to a curriculum called The Right Brain Theory by Diane Kraft. And that began my process of understanding brain integration therapies, working the right and left brain. Now, I had no idea what I was doing. However, I learned the patience of training a horse. So it allowed me to have that patience with my daughter. And so we did a lot of different things that didn't make sense, and I went through them, and lo and behold, 2 years later, I think my brain was shifted, and I learned not to be so left brain dominant and to get into the play phase and get creative and fun. So I did recognize that. Of course, years later, backing into it, I learned that. But then also, my now ex-husband was in a near fatal car accident June 16th of 2017, which changed our lives dramatically. Two things occurred at that time was, now I'm learning. I didn't know about traumatic brain injury at that time. However, my daughter, who I had been working with about for about almost 6 years at that time, I had to put her back in school, which was at the 10th grade level. Now, I had no idea, unbeknownst to where we went with that education. We just kept doing the Diane Kraft theory and training.
Mhm.
But when she got into school, this girl blew everybody's brains and was like, what in the world? Because they could not figure out, and still to this day could not figure out, how this child with a 66 IQ could pass and graduate high school in general educations with a 3.45 GPA and a full ride scholarship to Butler Community College, playing a flute, when in fifth grade, when I took her out, they said there would be no way she would actually be able to transition keys. So at that point, I kind of knew that we had done something, but I didn't know what we were doing. But I was at home at the same time. God was building that knowledge, because again, my science brain, I got to get to an answer. There's got to be a solution. My, ex-husband was struggling immensely, but it took about 2 years before we found out that he actually had a brain injury, a traumatic brain injury. And
Mhm.
so from there, I was open up to the understanding of brain mapping. And then I got into serious depths of understanding the brain. And that was when I started back in college to get my PhD, and realized what need and gap there was for the brain injury community and the education that was needed. So I began my journey at that point of pushing into developing education. And it's been a while. It took me about 5 years to get to full development and where I'm at in building materials, and now coming out and doing speaking engagements.
Oh my goodness, girl. Well, no wonder you have such a determination and not being distracted, because it
Yes.
started with your own daughter, and that motherly instinct
Hmm.
in all of us is we've got to help our children. What is the
Yes.
best way we can do it? So I can just see it in you. It was a passion that you felt, I have to find a way to help her. And wow, how you changed her life. Because if
Yes.
you wouldn't have taken that determination and saw that there was a gift there and there was a problem, and to get to the bottom of it, who knows what might have happened.
Exactly. Well, that we in the beginning, before I'd taken her out of school, thoughts were that in full development, she would probably end up having to be in some kind of group home for her own safety.
Right.
She actually lives on her own, drives her own car, has a full-time job, and she's in school at WTI. Getting a getting her getting a a certification in medical assistant. And so I'm so proud of her because she's actually at the phase of like an internship kind of where she has to get so many hours before
Uh-huh.
she can take on a full-time job. So yeah, she has done an amazing job and we've documented this journey. So I always call her my miracle baby now.
Well, I can see why. I can truly see why. And oh, how that must fill your heart. No wonder you flow to grow to glow, because I can
Amen.
see the glowing. Oh,
Absolutely.
oh, that is just incredible. Now, did you use your horses some when you were helping her through her schooling and all of this? Were the horses involved in her life also?
Oh yeah, and she is I mean, she is an lover of horses and I do contribute a big part of her brain opening and receiving because of her love for horses. So we had our horses right on the property. So she rode horses once, if not twice a day, and having her own horse
Yeah.
was her love. And then she used her horses as her PE when we homeschooled. So we had a private trainer that would come out and train her a couple times a week. And so she was highly involved with her horses.
Uh-huh.
So I'm sure, I see God always putting all these pieces together. I had no idea, okay, I'm doing this and this and this. No, God says, okay, I'm going to have you do piece by piece by piece. And then I'm going to have you recall all of it and realize what we put together over the years. Because you would not have heard the same Stacy, 10 years ago. I would have been on a whole nother level of this piece of this big mission.
Yeah, right, right. Well, and somebody guided you to document all this too, rather than just do it and go, oh, is this going to be right or wrong or what am I doing? But
Mm-hmm.
documenting it, you've kind of had a journal where you could go back to see
Yep.
how you got from point A to point B.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure that's very important now for you in everything that you're doing with all the other children and all the other people in your life that
Yes.
you're helping right now. Oh,
She's my first testimony. And all the little scores and the sheets and look at what she did. And so, yeah, it's really what was my first lift off for everything.
yeah. Yeah, I can truly see how that would have been. And wow, what a beautiful liftoff to have it with your own daughter and to be able to document how she progressed over this time and where she is at now. Oh, that's just incredible.
Thank you. Thank
No, I
you.
love it. I love it. Uh, well, about how many people do you work with at a time? Do you have quite a few of them that you're helping on an individual basis on any given time?
Well, I mean, we're just kind of all scattered all over where I do,
Uh-huh.
Make Life Better Together is the umbrella hub over, we have about 60 different organizations that work within this model. And Gritty Grace, the therapeutic horse farm educational place is just one of those. So if I'm not running horse summer camps, oh, sorry, with a bunch of kids. I'm, working with in resident kids, and it just depends on, how many kids. I went from 2 to 7 and then, back down. So whatever the Lord blesses me with, I'm working with. And I know that we're in the process of opening a facility that is going to, be able to carry more in resident boys and girls. That's our 3, 5 to 10 year plan. So right now, I'm just gifted with whoever comes. We're working it out. We're figuring it out. And parents are so desperate that they're just like, whatever we need to do, we are on board, because they're seeing success pretty quickly. And that's what's really great is, I can almost connect right away with the children through the horses, and have some kind of layout model more than what they've typically seen. And that's why they're, leeching on right away, because they haven't seen anything like it.
Right. No, no, that I definitely would believe that. They haven't seen probably, and they've probably tried numerous things if they're dealing with children that are having some issues. They've been to different ways, and when they start to see results like with this and through the horses, I mean, how beautiful. And
Mm-hmm.
do you find that you have certain horses that will, on like one day, if a child comes and there's maybe one horse that connects with them better than the other, or do you find they're all willing to connect?
Well, they're all pretty willing to connect. However, I typically, you can read an individual, so I typically will link them up with who I feel would be best for them,
Yeah.
and I try to keep them with that same horse, especially if they are riding them.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll switch around until they find exactly that perfect mate.
Oh, and how many horses do you work with like that?
Well, I have reduced my herd, but we're going back up this spring. So at one point, I had 10 horses, then we went to 7, and now we have 3. We just lost one not too long ago. So we had 4, but now we're to 3. And we have 3 more coming in this spring, and we're going to be teaching an advanced training course. So some of my younger students who are now teenagers want to learn the ropes of training. So I said, well, I think we'll make a program.
Oh, Stacy, how neat. So you're listening to what they want to do too, to help better
Mhm.
them and make them feel good about themselves too. Because if this is some things that
Absolutely.
they want to do and they know you listen to them, and that I can see the connection being made there too, because how many times
Mhm.
do we get busy and we're not listening to what's being said to us and not hearing? And you are. So
Yes.
that is just so awesome,
Well,
Stacy.
and this is a key, and this is something that I really learned with the horses is you have to connect before you can correct. And
Yes.
if you go into the training arena, what do? We have to connect first, link up with that horse before we can ask that horse to do anything. And isn't that the same thing with ourselves? Even if we looked at ourselves,
Oh,
we
yeah.
need to look at if somebody was to work with us, I would rather them connect with me first
Mhm.
before they come in and tell me what I need to fix or correct.
Exactly. Exactly. You make that
Mhm.
connection first and it brings you so
Mhm.
much closer together. Oh, I love
Yes.
it, Stacy.
Thank you.
Sta- Stacy, this has been just an incredible show, and I knew it would go so quickly, and it has.
No,
It
it has.
definitely has. So, as we're starting to come to a close, what what's some final advice that you would give to our listeners today on staying determined and not becoming distracted?
Well, that one I would say just stay in tune with the Lord and what his purpose is for your life, and to strive for that every day, and to trust in his will and what he has for your life. And anything outside of that is going to wear you out. You've got to stay focused on what you are meant for, because we are all individually built for something, and we are not in competition with each other. So when we wake up in the morning, we need to realize that we are individually made, just like our fingerprint. And so if you have one purpose in this world, then find that purpose and stay motivated in the plans for that, and it will all flow, and you'll find yourself growing and glowing as you're stepping into it. And sometimes it doesn't feel comfortable in the beginning, because you don't feel like you're worthy of the calling, or it doesn't make sense, but you got to keep going, because like I said, I started out to be a horse trainer 25 years ago. Then I became a homeschool business owner. Then I became a homeschool mom. And then I became, a student again, and now running a nonprofit and a for-profit business in full purpose and passion for what my heart was built for. And so when we have that, you will stay determined every day because it's not in your strength and you're looking at how you're helping another individual, because we have to stay in community to make life better together. It's together.
Yes. Oh, Stacy, what beautiful advice to close this magical show with. I want to thank you so much for being my guest on
Thank
this
you, Joyce.
robust lifestyle show. It has been so much fun. And I want to thank each one of our listeners for tuning in to Divas That Care on this robust lifestyle show with Stacy. And oh my goodness, was it a magical show. Thank you all again. And thank you, Stacy.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.